Start off with that boom, with that jab, and just knock them out right away. Well, if you did that every week, and I wouldn't even start looking at any type of monetization until you get this at least minimum 52 weeks. This is the Online Business Simplified podcast. Welcome. Today, a lot of people have access to things that we didn't have access to back in the day, which makes the barrier to entry to get into these different industries, podcasting, videography, photography, any of these things that you can create online. There's such low barrier to entry that there's so much more competition, and you're not just competing with people that are great. You're not just competing with people that are established. You're competing with all the newbies as well. And so how do you stand out in a crowd, in a sea of crowded noise? That's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. Now, there's a question. I don't know the name of this person. We are Saffron. Okay. But here's the question. With everyone and their mom starting a podcast, how do you stand out from all the auditory noise and ensure yours is heard? And so we're going to talk about how you stand out online with all the competition that's out there, because it's easy to start a podcast now. It's easy to start an online business. It's pretty much easy to start anything, especially with all the new tools we have with AI tools, and you could just, like this phone. So it's a computer in your hand. So never has there been an easier time to monetize or an easier time to build a business. So I made a few notes, and this is the first thing that I told this person on how to stand out. And I'll get to a couple of these points, but it's the same with building anything online. How do you stand out on any other platform, right? You show up, you get your reps in, and you be you. When you do that over and over, you'll see results, because nowadays many people quit so fast. Have a set of core topics that you want to be known for. Play around with some stuff that's similar, but remain on par with that core stuff. People want to be, this is a bar. People want to be everything to everyone, everywhere, and that's a recipe for burnout and for not seeing growth. People want to be everything to everyone, everywhere. That's a recipe for burnout and for not seeing growth. Now, showing up, get your reps in. One thing that can make you still stand out easier, it's simple, but it's not easy, than anything else, is to show up. Now, I think about this in a couple ways. Right now, like, I've started a couple podcasts, right? So I'm not telling you anything that I don't need to tell myself either. I'm preaching to Mario also, but you got to stick with it. So I look at all the popular podcasts, Pat Flynn, James, I forgot his name. I used to listen to him a long time ago. David Shan, Social Proof Podcast. All of these people, what they have in common is that they have thousands of episodes, which means that they showed up every week, week after week, to do their craft until they got better at it, until they got good at it. If you go back and listen to some of their first episodes, I'm pretty sure that everybody starts from zero. Nobody just, knows what to do or what to say right away, but they put in their reps, right? So, starting a podcast. First, I would do some research. All right, I would do some research. And here's the thing. People are yearning for information. All right, there's no shortage of information, but I'll tell you what there is a shortage of. People who show up consistently and who provide value, not just trying to make a sale. And let me make an example, okay? Let's say, and I read this on Threads the other day, maybe yesterday. Somebody was looking for something. The first place we go either is YouTube or Google or ChatGPT these days. I ask ChatGPT everything. And they looked up some YouTube videos, and their complaint was that they found a couple of YouTube videos that were similar to what they were looking for. And it took them, video was 10 minutes. It took them 5 minutes to get to the point. They went through a bunch of videos like this. Nobody gets to the point. Everybody starts off, hey, buy my stuff, subscribe to this and all of that. And so they got discouraged about trying to find the information. So imagine if you had a podcast, and this is how you can be different. And people got to your podcast, and you started off with something like a hook. Like people have been saying to make that they can be a millionaire, but if you did step 1, step 2, and step 3, and you did it in this way, in this many steps, in this many days, without doing this is how you make the action, right? What if you led with that instead of starting, hey, my name is such and such, and I'm the thing of this. What if you started off with the content? What if you started off with that, boom, with that jab, and just knock them out right away? Well, if you did that every week, there's a lot of people that will start coming to your podcast because they know that when they get there, you're going to be providing some value for them. They're going to get value right to the meat and potatoes of the thing, right? So that's one thing you could do is just research your pain points from the people that are whatever niche you're in, right? Make sure those pain points, make sure you hook them with that first, so you know that you're speaking their language. If a person is trying to learn something, or they're having an issue with something, right, and you lead with that pain point, you're going to be somebody that they listen to, especially if you help them get a result. All right. So research, reps. All right. Reps. I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast episode that you got to get your reps in before you get better at anything. I remember either reading or hearing this. There was something about that you need 10,000 hours in a craft to become an expert at it. And I have something that I've come up with called the Law of 52. Okay. And I wouldn't even start looking at any type of monetization or any type of being good at anything until you get this at least minimum, Law of 52. 52 videos, 52 weeks, 52 emails. So here's how that looks. YouTube is my platform of choice. Let's just say if you wanted to start a business, right? I would research the content, research the pain points, and then I would just ask ChatGPT, hey, give me 26 topics that I could talk about on this particular topic, right? And it'll spit you out some stuff. And then you just go to work. You just go to work creating that content. And every time you create it, the more and more you do it, the better that you will get. Now, if you need help figuring out, like, what do I create? What content do I put out? Then I have something called the Entrepreneur's Accelerator Kit, and in it, it'll give you a year's worth of like content, marketing plan, email marketing plan, social media marketing plan. So you don't have to figure out what should I post, what should I create a podcast around. And when you do this type of research, it helps you stand out because you'll have relevant topics that help you stay top of mind. And then the last thing is to repeat. Okay. Again, you got to get the reps in. And then once you find something that works, repeat the process. So those are the 3 R's. If you want to remember this on how you can stand out, I would call it the 3 R's, right? Research, get the reps in, and repeat. Research, reps, repeat. And so that's how you can stand out on a podcast. Lead with the hook and the content. You can introduce yourself later. Like, I forgot to do that in this podcast. By the way, my name is Mario. I'm the host of the Online Business Simplified podcast. Welcome. And so I just got straight to the content. You can do the same thing. Now, if you want to get started, and let's just say you're not 100% satisfied with where you are in your life, with where you are in your business, and you just want to start, you just want to take the next step, right? If you want to do one thing and just take one step in the right direction, then I'll leave a link in the description to my masterclass. It's called The 5 Biggest Mistakes That New Entrepreneurs Make When They're Starting Up Their Online Businesses. And it's just something that I noticed that people do. And if you can just learn these 5 mistakes and avoid these 5 mistakes, well, you could be way more profitable in your business. The efforts that you put towards marketing and sales they'll be better. You'll get a better ROI. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave the link down in the description. It's called The 5 Mistakes That New Entrepreneurs Make When Starting Their Business. And it's probably about 45 minutes to an hour. But the things that you're going to learn, right? If you feel like you don't have enough time, if you feel like you don't have enough money, if you feel like you don't have the skill, if you're not confident that you can become an expert, if you think any of these things, well, by the end of that masterclass, it'll show you why none of those things matter. So I can't wait to see you inside. I hope that helps. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.